Okay, so welcome to our 8/8 2022 Lionsgate. This is just an opportunity for us to gather because there is heightened energetic opportunity today. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about Lionsgate. This isn't as much as informational as much as it is to support us in the transitions and in the intensity of the energies that we're experiencing, and also to see what is up for alchemization, what is up for transformation. So I'm so humbled and grateful to see so many people here live, 12 o'clock on a Monday. It's just a testament to us needing to gather to share space, to support each other, because each of you is contributing to this experience by your presence. And whether you're here now or whether you're listening to the replay, your energy is still very much connected to this beautiful container that is being created as we begin our time together. So those of you who are new to me, my name's Jen Cunnings. I've been doing energy work and focusing on, expanding my consciousness for like 20 years now. Some of you have been on this road with me for a long time, where we've just been aware and open to clear everything that doesn't serve us so we can move into and anchor our highest reality, our divine consciousness, right? The truth of our soul. Like that's like the most simplification way I can share that. But that's really what alchemy is about, is our ability to remove, clear, resolve the density that we have carried in our bodies for eons and eons of time. And when we clear, it's just like clearing out a closet, we can replace it with new. We can bring in higher frequencies. And what that really means is we get to be more whole and connected to our divine, true soul self. Okay. And as we got to hear from many people in the chat prior to hitting record right now, who reported a lot of transition, a lot of intensity, a lot of sensations in the body that can sometimes maybe be a little scary, maybe be a little overwhelming. And that's why we gather in this space on this Lionsgate, because the energies are amplified. I'm sure you can feel it just sitting here and beginning to tune into the group. So my job, like as a facilitator, is to just talk a little bit about what that is, what that means, give you some supportive guidance and how to be the clearest conduit of these changes, of these energies, to create the smoothest ride, but also be in total allowance of the challenges. And then also to we'll go into a meditation and bring through some light language and some sound healing to assist us in opening the pathways and clearing. And then I actually did some group energy work this morning on everybody, and I do want to share with you kind of what came up for us as a group, as a theme. Because what happens when we gather, right? We're individual, but we're also one. And then there's a connection in who is in this energy. And even if you're not here in the present moment and you're listening to this later, you are also participating in this. And even if you're listening to this a year from now, you're still participating and able to still tune into the energies and receive them. So again, like my focus really is to be an alchemist for myself and others. Like my whole mission, I realized in the beginning of this year, was self-love. And I committed to self-love. And basically what that does when we commit to connect to love, connect to our natural state of being, is a lot of stuff comes up to purge out, right? Everything that's out of alignment comes up to purge out. And so it's a lot of dismantling, it's a lot of clearing. It moves not in a linear way, not necessarily in layers, but that's how our conscious mind can maybe perceive it, as we're clearing the layers of density, clearing, removing everything that is not our truest self. And that's quite an undertaking. It's quite an undertaking. So I was doing some channeled writing the other day, and the message that came through is like, it's like a house or something that has sat unattended for like 100 years, right? So let's say like in that house, there's a table, and that table is like bright and shiny and rainbowy, but over 100 years of time in this, that's like a, blip on our radar as a human consciousness. There's been like layers and layers and layers of dirt and grime and, that crud. And so we're just cleaning, cleaning, cleaning so that we can get to that purest, most natural state of our being. And the coolest thing about a day like today, which is called the Lion's Gate, is there's a connection with the Leo and the Sun. There's a connection with the star Sirius, and there's a portal that opens, which turns up and amplifies the energy. And really, again, what that means for us is when we gather, we are held in this beautiful space for us to even go deeper. So that's what we're going to do today with the energies, is we're really going to see just individually and collectively, what can we clear? What can we move out of the way to create more ease in our transitions, more anchoring of this energy in our body so we can bring it into the earth, because a lot of the intensity that we feel is because it's kind of happening up here and we're not anchoring it into the earth. So we're going to be doing that today as well. So I'm going to chat a little bit more about that. We're going to go into a meditation, and then we'll chat a little more, and then I'm going to leave some time at the end for Q&A, or if anybody's, struggling with anything super intense right now and want some one-on-one support, I'm going to stay on for that right now, because again, as we heard in the chat, there's just, it's a lot. So what I did want to share is what I picked up on working with this group. Again, if you're not here live, that's okay, because you were still connected into the energy by your choice in participating today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's been coming up as a collective that is present here and later. And then I'll leave it open for any questions, and then we'll move into the meditation. And we'll do a little body movement, because essentially, I want to prepare you all to be in the greatest capacity of receiving, not just this event, not just our connection together, but the energies as a whole. Because the more receptive we are, the more clear our bodies are as a conduit, the easier the energy can flow. It can get intense because there's resistance, and it's hitting things that are uncomfortable that we may not want to look at or feel, right? Typically it's emotional density that's coming up. And of course we might have triggers that are happening in our world, in our present day now, but it can also trigger really, really deep stuff. It's just a quick little side note on that. This year for myself personally has been huge. I would say this has been the most intense, huge transformational year I have ever had in all my years of spirituality, consciousness, energy healing, whatever you want to call it. But the crazy thing is nothing's happened, right? I mean, I can look back in my past life, and not my past life, but in my past, and look at like all these horrible relationships I had, all this intensity, all these like drama situations that all are leading to my growth, right? And my reconnection back to who I am. This year, nothing's happened. It's been smooth sailing. My family's happy and healthy. Things are flowing in all aspects of my life, right? So it didn't happen from an external place. It was all internal, right? And so again, like things might be affecting you in your external situation right now, but really what that does is it just shows you what's inside that needs to be healed. So again, the energy that we go in today is going to support everybody in that transmutation, in the grounding and opening up so we can be in more flow. So when I tuned into the group this morning, is the first thing that came through for you guys, or for all of us rather, because I'm included, is we were all kind of up here. It was a lot of emphasis in the mental mind, trying to process things intellectually, trying to problem solve from that space of mental consciousness. And that is not what's going to allow us the full opportunity to alchemize energies and back into love and light. Okay. Therapy and all that is wonderful to be able to have awareness of our patterns and have awareness of how we are operating, but we got to go in the body. We got to go into the energy to do the deepest work, because a lot of the stuff that we are clearing is beyond our awareness, beyond our consciousness, and it is embedded in our bodies and in our DNA. And some of it is so old that it's just beyond anything that we are going to understand up here. So the first thing I noticed was there with that intensity of the problem solving is a lot of this kind of energy of it's too much. I want to cut out, right? Too much for my body. I'm in overwhelm. And, frankly, being in a human at this time in this massive stage of transformation, it's flipping hard, right? It's hard. It is the heroine's journey of, doing so much purification and clearing, and that requires feeling, and that requires our body to clear this, move this, right? It is no small undertaking. And so I was having to kind of energetically bring us back into connection to our bodies and bring us back into connection to earth, because when we get into overwhelm, sometimes we just cut out, right? We just separate. We get in our heads, we get distracted, and our energy literally separates from itself, right? So one of the things we're doing today is we're coming back into wholeness. Okay. The other thing that came up was a lot of, I'll just call it trauma, from the patriarchal paradigm in which we've existed in for so long, right? So men issues with oppression, issues with power, issues with, all the ways in which the divine feminine and the divine masculine have been so separate, right? Outside of compassion, outside of union. So there was a lot of like that victim persecutor consciousness. If you're aware of that term, it's just essentially where we have been misaligned with like the purity of power, because we've either existed on like the victim side of I'm hopeless, helpless, right? I don't know how to make change. And then judgment of the other side, like, oh, power is a bad thing, right? Because power has been used to manipulate, power has been used to control, and power has been used to oppress and repress. And, frankly, the traumatic experiences that especially women have gone through because of that, right? Death, sexual abuse, you name it. So that was coming up a lot. And of course, that is really in our root and in our wombs. So that came up for us to clear today, and we worked on some of that. The other thing that came up was just a sense of like scarcity and lack. And from that space of scarcity and lack comes this like idea that I have to sacrifice or work hard or prove to get my needs met, right? So that was a lot in the solar plexus. And that's really the energy that came in when I began to realize that I was going to do this gathering today, was really focusing on the amplification of courage and empowerment, right? And so I think I called alignment, courage, empowerment, because alignment is that connection to our truth. And then that requires courage and empowerment to actually choose from the place that is in alignment to our truest self. That's been really knocking at my door. And usually when I get together in a group like this, that means it's knocking on your door too. So that means really to choose and take action and to move forward. And it may not necessarily be in a doingness, but it's a sense of also being, right? Choosing from a place that may not be in conformity to others, that may rub people the wrong way, right? Many of us here, or probably all of us here, are empaths who have been people pleasing and compromising and sacrificing of self. No more, right? So here we are to get into a greater sense of self and embody that, so we can choose from that place of empowerment beyond what we think is possible. Like if I had a magic wand, I would be like, let's blow up any limitations. Let's blow up all the fear. Let's blow up all the scarcity and lack, so that we can truly receive ourselves infinite, whole love, right? Like beyond words. I like stop talking, so I'm like, you can't even describe it, right? You can't even describe what it is to be coming from that sense of self, because we've lived in separation from self for so long. and it's just the human experience, right? We were conditioned, we were programmed, we came into this body where we feel separate, and it's just how we've rolled. But here we are in this unprecedented space of, frequency and energy that's coming in from the universe, from the sun, from source, whatever you want to call it, to allow us to actually transcend the separation that we've existed in from so long. And in that space of separation, we've accumulated a lot of trauma. So that's what we're clearing from our bodies. The other thing that came up to clear for us in this group was guilt, because we have had to set ourselves aside to help others. And then if we're not, playing that role anymore, it's like, like, am I being selfish? By trying to put myself first, right? Is there something wrong with me that I'm not sacrificing anymore when I should be giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving? So the guilt, it's like the boomerang effect. Like, okay, I'm going to self-love. I'm going to put myself first. I'm ready to really embody my being and choose from that space of empowerment. Yeah. And then the people around you are like, what happened? And you're like, like maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So some guilt came up around that, and just being able to really be truthful to yourself with when we do things out of obligation, when we do things that feel contracting, there's a betrayal and a denial of self, right? So that was coming up for us to clear. And it also came from a place of not really feeling deserving, and ultimately not really asking ourselves, asking our guides, the universe, for our needs to be met, not feeling worthy to ask, right? Lastly, interestingly, came up with issues with other women, because I think when we've existed so much in that patriarchal paradigm, then the women, we've had competitive, we operate from that space, and then there's conflict. So the energy of not trusting. This actually came up for me a lot this year, of old past experiences of being betrayed by women, not being able to trust and not feel supported. And ultimately what I got on that for us is just really where we have disconnected from that safe place of the mother, like the divine mother, and trusting that, the universe has our back, or whatever you want to call it. But it's this nurturing, comforting, holding energy that the divine mother has a space for us to surrender into. But it's been super scary to surrender. I don't know about you control freaks out there, but I've been working on surrendering for I don't even know how many years, right? And working, right? There goes the control word, working on it. And so that ultimately results in issues between women. So that was, I think, that was the last thing that came up. So a lot of clearing happened this morning in the group, and that just paves the way for our time together. And this energy and the connection that we have from this moment to the end of this call and the days that follow will continue to flow, right? This is set up so that the movement of energy will continue to move through you. And you can listen to this again. You can just come in and listen to the meditation that we do to just keep flowing and allowing things to unfold. Okay, and I'm going to give you some action items at the end so that you can journal, you can work through some of the energies that might be coming up for you, give you some tools to help you navigate. Okay, so that is what came up for the group. Not much, right? Not much clearing here. Oh, good, Missy. Missy says, I feel better today than I've felt in quite a few days. Now I know why. Yeah, there was a lot of clearing. And for those of you who've worked with me energetically before, what happens when I clear a lot of energy is I burp a lot. And so when I was working with you guys earlier today, my husband's like, can you please close the door? It's just so much purging. And it's just a reflection back to me of when the energy is moving. Okay. So I'm going to pause there because I know I just kind of shared a bunch with you guys. Anybody have any questions about what I've shared so far, or any other comments on what's been coming up for you. And know that when you put a comment in the chat of something that's coming up for you, you put it in the field. You put it into the field so that when we go deeper into the energy together, that it can be supported, right? So you're asking. So how many of us don't like to ask for help? Would you be willing to do that now? Oh, and if you haven't, I'm so sorry. I meant to say this in the very beginning. If you have some water, we'll take just like a 2-minute break before we go into the meditation. Grab some water and grab a journal. Marie says, I completely related to everything you said. Thank you, Marie. Yeah, if not everything like pinged you or related to you, that's okay. Like there's some things that, because again, we're working in the collective, but we really are so connected, right? There's so much oneness, right? Purity of power hit hard, and all the emotions around the word power. Thank you, Marianne. Yeah, that's a big one. Such a good point. I'm in a major season change and I don't even know what to ask for or how, but showing up seems to be a step in itself. Also glad to know why root sacral has been tingly noticeably this morning. Yeah. And the root sacral's simultaneous in that we're clearing, but that's also that Kundalini activation that happens, especially when we are in that space of Lionsgate today. Monique, to just reveal a bit more, the fiance and I broke up after 4.5 years. Wow, that's a long time. In the process of moving and dealing with loss of the dream and his children, fear is moving forward is big and feeling undeserving of love. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, sister, that you're going through all that. And we will, so I'm going to put that onto you, Monique, right now. If you with everything you're processing, and you may not have an answer, and that's okay, but what would you like to receive? And just give it just like, what does my heart need to receive right now? What does my heart want from me right now? And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. Just let that question percolate. Okay. And that's for all of us. Like when we say, what does my heart want? It's like, what does my divine being want? And to your point, Catherine, about not really knowing, I feel very similar to that in some aspects. Like there's part of me that kind of knows where I'm going and what's, like maybe some things that I'm going to be choosing and I'm going to be moving. And then like another half of me has no flipping clue. And it's like there's something around the corner and I just can't quite see it yet. And so I've just been in this space of asking just, hey, when it's time, just show me, right? Just guide me. And that also allows us a space to like, oh, I'm just going to be present with what is now, right? Like that's truly the space of when we clear all this stuff out of the way, we don't have to feel guilt about the past. We don't have to worry about the future because we're bringing it all into the now. Right? That's really also about what the Lionsgate is today, is that space between past and future and really embodying and being present in the now. Because truly, as we know, that's all there is. Okay. Becca, body vibration has been more than what I was comfortable with. Yes, sister, I was with you there on Saturday. Sleep doesn't seem to be as needed. And that I cannot relate to, but last week I could. Courage to make decisions to support my soul. Yes, Renee. That was the big, like, so Renee just captured it. Where is she? Oh, she's got her thing off. That was the thing. Like, okay, so I don't know. I shared this in the email a little bit, but I always feel so much energy around the Lionsgate for years and years and years, right? And so many people, so many colleagues and teachers that I've worked with over the years, there's so many events on the Lionsgate. So, last week I kept getting like, just do it. Like, just put something out there. And I'm like, no, like, there's so much stuff going on. It's already, diluted. There's so much happening and blah, 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 blah. But then the whole energy that I've been really coming up with against, or like amplifying, is what Renee said, the courage to make decisions to support my soul. And so it was like when I got beyond my ego, I realized like, oh, it was just fear. It wasn't even just like, without all the justifications of why I wasn't going to do this today, was just fear. So when I did it, I was like, that's just me choosing, right, what felt good, what felt light, despite these, conversations we have in our head. And that can require bravery and courage and vulnerability, right? So that's really like the place I would like to leave us today, is to support us in what next step are we inspired to take that we may have been holding back on, right? What is the next step, right? Not even attached to outcome, right? Just what is my next inspired step? Who am I here to be, right? I feel I'm meant for more than where I'm at right now. So if I'm meant for more than where I'm at right now, where have I been holding myself back? Right. So here's a good place to take a couple notes and write down these questions that y'all can journal about afterwards. Hey, Darlene. So that was that. Thank you so much, Renee, for putting that in the chat, because I don't think I really emphasized the energy that kind of was the precipice of us coming together today, because that was really it, right? Choosing, making a decision, taking an action, right? When there's no safety net, when there's no, like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but better to choose than not, Mel Robbins, I can't think of what book Untamed, I think, is the book that she wrote. Or am I mixing her up with another author? Who wrote Untamed? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Glennon Doyle wrote Untamed, which was an awesome book. I can't remember what Mel Robbins wrote, but it was good. And she had a little Instagram pop up the other day, and she says, "You're never as young as you are in this moment," right? And so I'm like, dang it. So what are we waiting for, right? She said something else, like, we're never going to get the sign. We may get the sign, but like, no one's ever going to do it for us. No one's going to take you by the hand and say, Yvette, come on, we're doing this, and then we're going to do this, and then you need to do this, right? Like, we have to be the energy of momentum for ourselves. And that requires choosing, and that requires courage, and that requires bravery, right? So today we are clearing as much as we are able in this beautiful container, and all you beautiful beings, to allow ourselves to feel that empowered space, to choose from that space of alignment, right? And as we talked about earlier, there's energies we have to clear about what power is and what power isn't. Because truly, power is kind of like money, right? And I would equate that, like, power and money are just like water. They're just energies. But we've put so much judgment on what power is. We've put so much judgment on what money is, right? If you look at the energy of water, it can create, give life, right? 70% roughly of what our bodies are, right? It's neutral. But water can also destroy, right? It can decimate, right? Do we go and after these major events, do we go to the water and say bad water, judge the water, right? We don't, because these energies are actually neutral, but we've got them all mixed up, right? With all the conditioning. Money is bad. Money is greedy, right? Power is bad. Power is abusive. So again, these are all limitations that we have been imprinted with or have been created that we operate from. So let's clear that shit out. Okay, and then I'm going to read a few more, and then we're going to go into the meditation. Michael, today is the best day I've had in a while, but up until now I've been super angsty about the feeling of lonely and wanting to be in a relationship with the divine masculine externally, and fear of that not happening. Okay, good. Fear, what's on the other side of courage, right? Fear. What's on the other side of love? Fear. Okay. So all the fear that we're bringing into this space right now, just be aware of that within yourself, in your body, in your awareness. Thank you, PJ. Also trying to find what the want is that isn't 3D physical. Thank you. How to be in want and at peace at the same time. Yeah. I love that, Catherine. And I don't even know if I have an actual answer for you in that, except to say, like, so much of that is just in the space of the being in the present, right? Because we can be in the want, like the desire to be in service, the desire to show up more, the desire to feel at peace, the desire to be in a space of love, right? Those can be, maybe instead of a want, would be a curiosity and an invitation, just to reframe it in the brain a little bit. So it's not this, well, I want, and I'm attached to the want, right? When we have a desire, when we have a curiosity, when we want to bring something in, then we often attach to the outcome of how am I going to get there? And then we create the separation between that and where we're at. And so the curiosity and the invitation is, I wonder what that would feel like if that were an actuality for me right here in this moment, right? It's curious, it's light, and then we can begin to embody that experience, that feeling, that emotion. And in that experience, we actually attune to the frequency of it. Right? We begin to create from that space where we can already feel it. It's already in the quantum field, and we begin to bring it into our bodies. But we have to be really present and anchored to have that experience, right? Oh my gosh, y'all. So one more thing I have to tell you, and I'm going to read your comments and then we'll do the meditation. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. So my 80s friends, when you were a kid in the 80s, did anybody watch He-Man and She-Ra? So when I was doing some writing on, the other day, and I was kind of tuning into the Lionsgate, and I had the image. And so what He-Man did is he had this sword, and he would like transform from his like kind of Clark Kent kind of self, and he would hold his sword up and he would say something like, I have the power. And then this lightning would come down into his sword and down into his body, and he would be like this, like, buff, actualized, like superhero self, right? And so that was the energy of like, what's possible for us to tune into, like the energies that are here now, right? Because we're feeling the intensity. So we just need to be that anchor. We got to hold up our crown chakra, our hands. We have to open our bodies and allow that frequency, that electricity, that power to come through. We got to open up the channels for us to receive that. So that's the meditation. And I was like, okay, He-Man analogy. That's fun. Okay. Yvette, I'd like to add to the field wanting to do so much, being super inspired versus actually implementing and get things done. Yes, I feel you on that, sister. Mariana, right now, my heart is wanting peace of being okay with the unknown and truly knowing that I'm always supported along the way and everything will be okay. Christina, the body's been struggling with illness since mid-June, overwhelmed with it all. Okay, Christina, so when we go into the space, and this is for everybody, when we go into the space, we're going to do a little movement before we go into the meditation, because we really want to like imagine our bodies, back to the He-Man analogy, like if we have a lot of density and blockage and stickiness and we're holding our sword up to lightning, that lightning's not going to make it all the way through to our feet. Right? It's going to get stuck. It's going to get, staticky, right? Because it's not going to, we don't have the clear conduit of the place. So think of our bodies as being this really pure, clear conduit. All the pathways open, all the chakras open. You can just imagine yourself like a waterfall and this coming in and through, and then bringing that into the earth. Okay. She wrote, stop saying you're fine. The 5-second rule, the high five habit. Okay, Sue, elaborate on that. Missy's been watching the external world literally fall apart the last couple of weeks in the space it's creating is overwhelming. Yes. It's funny. I was kind of playing around with different offerings, Missy, and the next one I think I'm going to do is, kind of navigating New Earth with the existing, shitstorm of the world. And that's a whole huge conversation that we don't have time for today. But what I would say is everything, and you know this, my friend, but everything that we are triggered by, everything we witness, everything that is happening in our external world, whether it's on the news, if it comes into our reality, is a reflection of something that needs attention within ourselves, right? And if we get triggered by it, then we have a very beautiful opportunity to go within ourselves and to heal it within, and then that ripples out to the world. And that's how we change the world. Okay, Christy, flowing, not working body is a barometer when I go into the headspace or working mode. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's so much fine tuning and getting into the practice. Like, we all get pulled out, we all get in the head, we all get busy. And so this is where we're in a space to practice. This is practice. This is not our default, right? Our default is to be reactive. Our default is to let our thoughts and our emotions, pull us around like a dog on a leash not wanting to go for a walk, right? Like we can really become a victim to so much of what happens here and here. So through presence and mindfulness and practice, I hate to say it that way, but that's just what it requires. We have to retrain our bodies. We have to retrain our minds and our way of interacting with ourselves so that we don't always go to the default. It's going to come in and then we just bring it back, and it's going to come in and then we bring it back, right? Everything's helping us bring it back. And the more conscious awareness we bring to every single moment, because how many thoughts do we have a day? Like 60,000 or something crazy like that, and how many of those are talking shit about ourselves, right? We got to keep retraining and bringing it back. After the meditation, I wasn't planning on doing this, but since you brought it up, Christy, I'm going to use that as my segue. I'm kicking off a monthly membership in September 1st, and it's going to continue each month. And we're going to be doing a call like this, and then we're going to have a community platform. And I'm building a library of a lot of my meditations and light language activations and sound healings. And the reason I got called to do that is so that we could have a space where we could help to be committed to ourselves, right? To have the resources, to have the energy, and to have the community, but also so we don't forget. Right? Because sometimes when we don't gather for a while, we're kind of off on our own island, like the bad habits come into play. So I'll share a little bit about that later. Okay, dokie. It's not the default. Yes. Yeah. So true. Like the presence is not the default, right? Connection to higher self is not the default. The default, because we're in the human body, is to exist from separation. Right? Because we perceive ourselves as separate from love and separate from each other. So we have to remember presence, connected to earth, connected to all. One more quick thing about that before I go to the meditation, I promise we'll do the meditation, is every day I wake up and I say, I am one with my divine I am presence. And you could say, I am one with my soul, or my higher self. I am one with the true divine nature of my infinite soul being. The words don't matter. And then I say, I am one with source, I am one with God. And then I am one with all. I am one with Mother Earth, and I am one with all of humanity. And that does a few things. It helps me to connect to my higher state of being. And then connecting into the earth helps me anchor that. And then connecting into all the earth and humanity helps me expand beyond my limited, way of thinking, because we all have it, right? So I'm expanded out into the earth. My energy's expanded and I've created space. And then from that space, it's everything I do that day, I do energy healing sessions on myself every other day. I send that out to all. Right. And by doing these energy sessions on myself, and I can teach you guys some stuff around that, it helps me to have that practice of presence, right? Connect into body, connect into what's happening underneath all the mental stuff that's been twirling around in my head all day. Okay. Thank you guys all for your comments. Such a beautiful contribution. And again, I hope you guys can receive, even if what somebody's saying doesn't resonate with you specifically, that we are all so connected in this experience. And that everyone's going through some stuff right now. It's, we all are in a state of transformation. Okay, so what I would like to invite everybody to do is to stand up, and if you want to turn your camera off, you can. I might need to adjust mine, but I just want to open up and create our bodies so that we are in a space to receive in our bodies. Let me go into the energy. All right. So if you are standing up, and if you're not standing up and you're sitting down, that's fine too. But I really want you to get your feet really firmly planted on the ground beneath you. Like, bring all your focus, all your attention, and begin to breathe down your body into the bottoms of your feet. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and just sweep your arms up and imagine you're gathering up the sun, and you're going to inhale the sun into your body, bringing it down through your crown, and then down your body, out your legs, out your feet, bringing that sun through your body and down into the earth, all the way down to the center crystal core of the earth. And then on your next inhalation, just reach down and grab the earth energy from the central core crystalline star in your body, pulling it up and up out the top of your head. So we're gonna do this in a couple different ways. Well, we're gonna create a flow with this. Okay, so we're gonna bring the sun in, and we're gonna just move it down into the earth, and then gather the earth and the sun, and we're going to sweep it back up, and then it back through our heads again. So it's like a donut or an apple. You're going to bring it down through the column of your body and up and around. Gathering in the sun. Since I'm talking, I'm not doing the breath, but just let your breath flow. Just deepen your breath. And we're going to bring that sun down into your head, down through your body, sweeping down into the earth, and then gathering it back up again. So just do this at your own pace. Once you've made that cycle, we're gonna grab down the earth energy from this column down, and still with the sun, and we're gonna bring it up through our bodies this way, up out the top of our heads, and go the opposite direction. So up through the column. So as you're gathering and bringing these energies through, we're opening up all the channels, we're opening up all the chakras, and we're opening up all the meridians, every energy in your body opening, flowing. Once you feel like you've made some nice flowing through that movement in your body, we're going to come back to being on the bottoms of our feet. We're going to stand up straight, align your spinal column. And you're going to feel your energy all the way up, above your head, and then feel your energy all the way down below your feet into the earth in this beautiful pillar of light. Those energies are running up and down the pillar of light. You can even imagine them spiraling. And then now I want you to bring your hands to your heart, taking a few big deep breaths into your heart. Filling your heart with golden light, and then on the exhale, bringing it out all around you. We're going to create a beautiful sphere, a beautiful sacred container of light that's going to surround us. You can imagine this any color. You might see gold, you might see rainbow, you might see other colors. Just feel yourself surrounded by this beautiful container of light. Crystalline light, divine light. And we're going to ask this beautiful container of light be filled with pure divine love. The light of Source, the light of God, the light of your divine soul self. And you can allow this beautiful container of light to kind of be around you, close to your body, or you can expand it out further in any direction, however far you choose to be. And then we're going to create another beautiful container of light around our group as a whole. Just setting the field, setting the frequency. And in this beautiful field, we bring in all of our intentions, everything that you vocalized, everything you didn't vocalize or put in the chat. Asking everything that needs attention today to assist us in returning to love, allowing that love to be expressed through our power and our courage. And then just when you're ready, you can have a seat and we'll continue. Okay, you can leave your cameras off if you want, or just coming back. I'm going to bring in my crystal bowl here. So if you haven't been on a meditation experience with me, I bring through light codes and light language, and you might hear some sounds you're not familiar with, and so this isn't something for you to know with your mind, just receive with your body. So find yourself in a comfortable space. You can even lay down if you like. I'm going to put on some music that hopefully doesn't get too loud, and if it does, somebody just tell me in the chat. I'm just gonna leave it so if you guys could hear. Okay. Okay, thanks guys. All right. So just beginning to let your body relax by breathing in slowly, breathing in light, breathing in love. And just on the out breath, just releasing any tension, any tightness. if you have any practice that you enjoy getting into a relaxed space, into a space of receiving, go ahead and just do what feels good to you. We're just getting in a space where we're opening to receive, opening up all the channels, all the chakras. All right, so again, breathing in light, breathing in the energy of pure love, imagining that filling your body like a balloon, and just breathing out any place you're holding tension, density, heaviness. And now I want you to invite in your divine I Am presence, your higher self, calling in your true essence. You can imagine that just emerging from your heart or coming in down through that column of light we created. And as we bring in our higher self, we ask that all of our energy, all of our beingness, our consciousness, to come back into the wholeness, to come back, to reunite with all that you are. And call back your power. I now call back all of my power. Everywhere I gave my power away, I call it back and I breathe it into my solar plexus. And now we're going to reconnect with the sun again, and we're going to bring that sun energy into our solar plexus. The purity of power that the sun is, turning it up, turning up the light, the warmth, letting the frequency of the sun and the fire begin to dissolve and release whatever you might be holding on to. And now, imagine calling in the essence of the Leo, of the lion, and breathing that into your abdomen. So we're just allowing these pure energies to come into our bodies, resetting our natural state of being, resetting our blueprint, beginning to swirl in beautiful divine golden energy moving through our bodies, letting go of fear, letting go of scarcity, letting go of grief, letting go of separation. Our higher self begins to illuminate in our bodies brighter as our bodies begin to receive more of who we are. And as these energies come in for you, you can just imagine like a waterfall of light flowing in. That is you. And we're going to take that through your body and also bring that into the earth. So again, that your body's this beautiful conduit to everything above and everything below. And we call in all of your angels and your family of light. We call in all the beings who are here to support you, helping you on your path, returning to love. And so just receiving now as we bring in the sound and we bring in the codes, just breathing and receiving. Dolia adna ora sanna de bereshe kiara iana are kiana de shora sakia yana. Etora sanna de shekiana yatora sama ora shokoro ki. Ora sanna de etala yatona kiene mere shikia. Ubura shane esale etodora kana iato no ora sa yakana alokorasi. Ilokrane de sone yakiane e shoma kiere sheyani yakia. So just imagine these energies flowing through up and down your body, just opening to receive more of you. Eliana arasalni idiane ikora hana isho rasama araki. Orasatariane shakora sani ishiamo orasana kiana akia. Yokora sanne de sotoriana meresha kiana yashora sate lahiana yakora. Sotoro ora sanamo ora shana yakiata. Ora sete de berashanama ora sanaria shekiana yateki. Ilakianara arashania kano ora sanaria tene iatane yakia. Bringing in the energies to allow the purest expression of our soul's truth. How do you desire to express yourself? Through your voice, through your expression of art or movement, opening up for you to flow creation through your body. And anywhere you're holding that, containing that, resisting that, we ask the pure energy of creation to come in. Ora sokora ne etaya de shonia kara solokrea sanaria tanamo orokuri etanaya de la kiana arasoraki. Dona kara esala are eshala ora salni elakana ora am ora usotodo ora sha ania adayana edakara ikia. Ora sakora asana bara shetayana are esitiano korokwana yakia. Ora sette liberesha korokudana yatani yakia. Now just feel an opening in your heart where your truest being emanates and expresses. How do you want to play in this world? What makes you feel so lit up and joyful and happy? What have you always wanted to do that maybe the courage hasn't been there yet? Feel into that. As we are anchoring into New Earth, this is your playground of play and expression. Who you are here to be. Your mission feels so fulfilling. It ignites your passion. It flows. It's easy. Inviting your higher self in again to just whisper these messages. What is that next beautiful, inspired step for you to take? What courageous action is asking, is drawing you in? What does your body want for you? In this space, we commune with our spirit, our body, and the earth as one. The spiritual and the physical are not separate. We bring these into wholeness, into unity. We receive from the earth, we receive from the sun, from nature, from water. Letting all these energies just open your pathways to receive the beautiful energy of creation moving through you. Italiana ora shukora sama ara etana are kiana yatoto ora shani ikiana kiana koarasi. I am ready to release everywhere I have been afraid to be myself. And so for the next few moments, just play in that field, New Earth, that feels fun and free. Just let yourself explore. I am one with my body. I am one with my power. I am one with my wisdom and truth. And I am one with all. And once again, just bringing your attention back to your feet, allowing this to fully anchor through your body into the earth. And lastly, we ask for just a wave of pure, divine, comforting love to come through. That love from the Mother, Divine Mother, allowing you to rest and receive. Allowing you to feel comforted to be present in this moment, in all moments. And then just when you're ready, taking a few big deep breaths, letting yourself move around. You can stand back up again to stretch. If there's any part of your body that feels tight or stiff, just letting your breath go to that place, knowing that it will continue to move. These energies will continue to flow beyond our time together. And just whenever you're ready, we'll come back. I'll encourage you to drink some water if you have some nearby. My apologies for the sound issues. I'll have to play with that on the back end. But hopefully once I turn that off, it was okay. I love that I can see Becca's dog just passed out on the couch right now. So cute. So if there's anything you want to just write down, any awarenesses or insights that you had, I recorded that on my phone. I'll have to see the quality because I just used, my regular phone. So I'll, when I send out the replay, if that is okay, I'll send that out as a separate audio file. So you can just listen to the meditation. Becca said she loved it. So cute. Thanks, Amber. Yeah, next time I have a mixer over here. I'm going to try to hook up to Zoom next time so the bowls will come in better as well. Okay, so there's something else. Let me look at my notes here because I feel like there's something I didn't chat about. Oh, thank you. Thank you, notes. So again, when we're tuning into this courage and this action and this momentum forward, just utilizing this space while we're in this peak energy of the Lion's Gate to just, answer the questions, write these down, for you just to explore and bring through, like, what does my heart desire? Right? And maybe it's just peace, right? We don't have to have answers. It doesn't have to be specifics. It doesn't have to be outcomes. It can just be, I want to feel light. I want to feel inspired, right? I want to feel like I'm on the right path. I want to feel like myself again. And what inspired action? What courageous next step would feel really good for me, even if I'm, scared to death? Thank you, Emily. She said feeling peaceful and excited. Awesome. Back to what Christy said earlier as well. This requires practice, right? Like, I've been on this spiritual journey for a long time, and I've like wavered in and out. And I just, I would go and do like a meditation a couple times a week, or, maybe I would do my sessions, and then, my client sessions, I'd be like, oh, I got my spiritual stuff in, right? No. Like, our spirit wants us to commune with all that we are every day and every moment, right? The practice of meditation is like setting aside the time, but then can we actually bring that out into our every moment, every day? Like, this is what New Earth is about. It's tuning into that space within ourselves where we can carry that in all moments, right? And again, it's not necessarily, it's not the default. It's like riding a bike. It's like working out, right? The muscle needs to build, right? So what inspires you to commune with yourself every day? Is there a time a day? Is there a note that you can leave yourself? I did a course earlier in this year, Optimize Your New Year, and it was all about that. What daily habits can we implement so that we are staying in truth with ourselves, in alignment with ourselves? And one of the fastest ways for us to clear density is to commune with our bodies. Okay, this isn't about meditating and going out. This is about connecting with spirit, but connecting with body. Oh, good. Christina says her body felt fragmented and now it's starting to flow. So thank you for that perfect timing and that perfect segue, Christina, because our body has a divine intelligence, right? And we've carried all that density and trauma we talked about earlier, so we can simply commune with the consciousness of our bodies and say, hey, body, show me where this fear is. Show me where this grief is. Show me where this unworthiness is. Show me where this judgment is. Hey, body, show me where I need love. Your body will respond with a sensation, right? This is really fundamental to healing work, is to let our bodies guide us and show us, because our bodies are always talking to us. We're just in our heads. And we don't have to necessarily do anything. We don't have to go in there with a jackhammer and start, scrubbing it out. We simply just need to hold a loving space with our bodies. So if you guys, I'll send out when I send out the replay, I'll send you the link to the membership that I'm going to be offering, and you guys can read about it. It's simply this: we get together live once a month like this for about a couple hours, and I'll leave time for Q&A. There'll be different topics. There'll always be some sound healing, energy healing coming through, and always an opportunity for engagement at the end, as well as a community platform where we can talk about, things that are not, always as easy to talk about outside of this kind of community. And it won't be on any social media. It'll be private on the platform that is being created now. So I'm going to end the recording, but I'm going to stay on and leave some time for questions, or if anybody wants any individual support, we'll stay on for a little bit longer. And anything else before we close the recording? Thanks for joining us for this beautiful Lionsgate. Like I said earlier, each of your energies were such a beautiful contribution to this space. So I'm going to stop the recording.